How can you build a human connection with someone in your personal life or at work that will really last and give you a good relationship? Well, at work is where people really struggle to build relationships with people, especially if people are a different style than them. And the first way that you can do this is a very small way, but the more you start to pay attention to it, the more successful you'll be at it. Human beings do something called bids. And bids are these small interactions where they say things to each other that most of the time that we brush off, but are really little requests for interaction or connection. Like sometime when you're talking to someone, they say, oh yeah, let's have a cup of coffee sometime and sit down and talk about it. And you go, yeah, let's do that. And then you go back to your office. That was a bid. It was tiny. It was small. Or somebody says, oh yeah, we should have lunch sometime. You go, yeah, we will. And you never do it. That was a bid. It was a missed connection opportunity that you miss out on. Now, before you say to yourself, oh, those things don't matter, watch if you ignore a small bid from someone, how you never get any bid again. You'll never get a tiny request for being able to connect with them again because you ignored their bid. And actually, even if you look at interpersonal relationships like marriages, long-term relationships, they come apart because people ignore each other's bids. You see that they did the dishes and you're just like, well, they always do the dishes. You don't bother to say thank you. That was a tiny gesture that happening. So thank you for doing the dishes, honey. I love you. That little bid is something that you shouldn't ignore. And it works across all kinds of human interpersonal relationships. So stop ignoring each other's bids. Second thing, and it's a very powerful tool. It's not mine. It's from the old book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, but it's the most powerful form of human connection that I've ever found. And it really works. And it's very simple if you pay attention. And that is to ask genuine questions of other people and listen to the answers. To not just, hey, how are you? Like, oh, somebody's talking about their son and the baseball game this weekend. How did the game go? Were they able to win? Did they have a good game? How does your son feel about it? And then listen and ask follow-up questions. If you don't think that's powerful and you don't think that that is important, realize that all human beings have a natural tendency to be able to want to talk about themselves. And if you don't ask questions of people, if you're not curious of people and you don't actually listen to the feedback and then talk about it, you won't be able to connect with people. If you read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, they'll talk about salesmen that were never able to get more than 5 minutes with a company or get a meeting or do anything. And when they finally, instead of being like, hey, let me sell you my product, when they were trying to get through the secretary to the boss, they said instead, do you guys have a good payroll system right now? Do you guys have a good system to be able to keep track of clients right now? Do you guys have a good supplier for this right now that you're happy with? Asking a question first gives the other person an opportunity, give you something that you can use to move the relationship forward. And if you do that, they might say, well, we're not really happy with the folks we have right now and the prices. They just hiked the prices on us again. Then you can go, okay, so, I'd love it if you give me just a couple minutes to come in and ask some questions to see if it would be a fit. I'm not sure if our company would be a fit or not, but I'd love a couple minutes just to come in and talk. And then when you get in to talk to that boss about the bid, instead of just launching into your thing, go in and say, hey, we're a company in your area and, we provide lumber or whatever you guys happen to do. And I know the prices for a lot of other companies have come up lately. We'll be able to keep things fairly reasonable. Like, how are you guys' prices? And are you guys happy with your delivery right now? And then allow the other person to talk and go like, or if you had lumber delivery, what would that look like if it was a better experience for you? And watch it open up and you be able to use the answers for that to be able to give solutions that you want. And that not having a desperation, not having this is what we're going to sell you because we're the best. Maybe you're not the best. It's okay to say that. Oh, I don't think we're a fit for you guys. You guys already have better pricing than we have. People will be shocked by that. But it's that actually listening to what other people say, both in bids and in questions, that will form a human connection if you're missing it with people and if you're struggling to build a relationship. Let me know if you found this is true, and I'd be happy to hear your thoughts.